Sociologists seek to understand human social behaviour, whether it be the individual identifications, dynamics of small groups, large organisations, or even entire societies. Through a more complete understanding of the social world, those researching and studying sociology can attempt to improve people's lives in many ways.
It's time for the big question. What is it that makes sociology so important today? Time to get serious. Point number 1. Sociology gives us a global perspective of how the world works. Like, it's not just why does one little group do this? It all builds up until we understand the world itself. Like, it shows us the very big picture of everything, and it's just so incredible. Any sociologist, especially those who do large-scale investigations, can help us build a conclusion on society itself. It's not just one part of the world, it's all of it. My next point. Sociology relates to every single one of us. It doesn't matter who you are, where you came from, your status in society. Sociology affects you in one way or another.
For example, you could be highly middle class with all your qualifications and business. And sociology helps you understand why you're so successful with business and money and blah.
Or yeah, you could be quite working class like myself. You could be a lad, and we have a different ideology to the middle class, so we may underachieve in education because of loyalty or just laziness or other shiz, because who needs education when you have a gang, ain't it, blood person? I don't make a very good gangster, I'm sorry. Lost my original hat. What all of these groups have in common is that they're all connected with studies from sociology that explains why these people are how they are, like how they work, how they function, and they're all linked by sociology. And another reason why it relates to all of us, it's not like science where it only talks about beyond humanity and space and just development of organisms. It's about human beings. It's about how we act, how we develop. It's not about how rocks erode. That will be silly. It's about us as people, which I think is quite awesome. I mean, why learn about rocks and dinosaurs when you can learn about society?
Sociology is the science.
Sociology helps us question the world. It doesn't leave us in the dark. It lets us think for even a split second. Why is society like this? And it helps us to grow and develop these new ideas and lets us think outside the box. Otherwise we'll just go along with our everyday lives, never knowing how everything around us was put together. Like, why? What's the point of education? Why are the youth different to past youths? I mean, it helps us question our own world. Sociology can help us understand our past as well as our present. Like with youth culture, it helps us understand why we've developed from no youth culture at all to this amazing style of childhood.
Felipe Aries,
yeah, he said childhood didn't exist in the Middle Ages and children were treated as mini adults. For example, they dressed the same, they acted the same, they ate the same. Like, it's not like nowadays where teenagers and children have a completely different look. I mean, we don't go around wearing suits and ties, we go around wearing awesome hats. Some think there was no childhood until the 15th century when it actually started to appear. It looks like our lives are just everyday, normal, fabulous lives. One of the most important reasons why sociology is very important in today's society is that it teaches us our values, how we're supposed to behave in society, otherwise the world would be chaos. Think of a world without norms and values just for a split second. Can you imagine the weirdness of this? I'm a weird person, but I don't see myself like doing this every day. Okay, if someone just walked in right then, that would have been a very hard thing to explain. But you get my point. If we do weird things like that, like drinking with our faces in a bowl, society would be very different and very destructive and chaotic. It teaches us how to interact with other human beings. For example, you don't go up to your friend going, "Hi!" No, you go up to them going, "Hi, how do you do?" And then they reply, "I'm good." And you socialise. I think. I'm not an expert on socialisation because that means going out into the outside world. I don't do that. Another point is that sociology helps us see that society is the thing that makes us human. We go from babies to adults by developing and socialising and interacting with others through our society, ideology and sociology. It helps us develop a culture, it helps us understand who we are and what came to be, as I've mentioned in my other points. What else could I say? Well, you told me to be creative, so here's a point that isn't really a point, but it's always fun to act creative. What if somewhere in the universe there are aliens watching Earth? Just think about that for a second. Aliens watching Earth. Get your head around that. I've already told you I'm weird. But anyway, what if they're having their own psychological experiment on Earth, seeing how our society works so they too can develop their society to be just as awesome as ours? Like, we could be inspiring galaxies. If you like believe in all that jazz. I'm not a nerd, okay? I'm normal. Okay, we've had a few wacky ideas, a few genuine ideas which all seem very similar. I know, I'm so original. But here's the most important reason why sociology is important to me. Cue that inspirational music. There are many sociologists like Engelman or J.W.B. Douglas who just think that the working class are set to fail. They don't do well due to material deprivation, cultural deprivation, just different factors. The truth is, I'm quite working class. No, I'm not quite working class, I am working class. And learning sociology shows me that I'm the underdog in society. But thing is, that doesn't stop me from trying. Like, with all these accusations about different groups of people, it makes me want to prove them wrong. It encourages me to do better. And I'm done. I hope you enjoyed my entry.
Until next